All right, Mark, it is your turn to share. Ugh, for f***'s sake. Okay, knock it the hell off. But he's the worst. His stories always make me feel depressed. And I honestly feel, I don't know about you guys, but I honestly feel like I need to take a shower afterwards. Everyone, enough. Mark, this is a safe space. Please proceed. Last night, I sold my body for silver. Ew. I have never stooped that low. Oh, it's not like Matt over here. I just sold a kidney. I guess that's better. That's not too bad, but you may want to get that looked at because it looks a little bit infected. And I got $100 for it. $100? You could have gotten $250,000. That would have been so much silver. Mark, you are a moron. Now, Matt, we don't use hurtful words like that. It is true what they say in California. Words cut deepest. That being said, Mark, you are a moron. Oh man. Well, it's a good thing I have another one to sell. Hey everyone, welcome back to Campbell's Coins. Today, let's talk about liquidity. What is it and how does it affect you as a stacker or as a collector? I'll go over this concept and more coming up. The definition of liquidity is, in context of securities, a high level of trading activity allowing buying and selling with a minimal price disturbance. Also, a market characterized by the ability to buy and sell with relative ease. To me, liquidity is being able to set your price for an item and it sells out almost immediately. One can go almost anywhere and sell their item. The set your price part is very important because if you have to continually lower your price in order to sell your item, it's not that liquid. Let's say you have to move some of your stack or your collection to pay some bills. Something comes up, something will always come up, something will always happen. You want to make sure that you can do so very easily. That's liquidity. The harder an item is to sell, the less liquid it is. Don't buy something you'll be stuck with because nobody wants it. Right now, with such a high gold and silver demand, this really isn't a problem. But you never know what will happen, and you don't want to get caught with low demand silver and gold in a slow market. There are many factors one has to consider when choosing a high liquid gold or silver item. How popular it is, the weight, and the market. You don't want to buy at the height of a market, for instance, so do your research before buying. Let's dive into the first part, popularity. You want to pick an item that everybody wants. It might not be a low mintage coin around, but the demand ensures that you can transfer your asset to another individual. You don't want to pick a niche item because the amount of people interested in it might drop compared to the popular item. There are thousands of low mintage coins with really low premiums when compared to a coin in high demand simply because they are not popular. They might be a great buy in terms of price, and demand for that item might grow in the future. However, at the moment when you're buying it, it could be a risk. Next thing that you have to consider is the weight. You want a low weight item. If you can afford to buy a 100-ounce silver bar, it might have the lowest premium compared to the 1-ounce counterpart, but it will be more difficult to sell in the future. Same goes for gold. A 1-ounce gold bar or coin might be out of most people's budgets, but a 1/4-ounce coin or bar will have a much larger buying group. The higher you buy, or the more weight you buy at once, the cheaper an item will be. Like this 100-ounce JM bar is going to be a lot cheaper than buying this 1 ounce silver round. But just because it's cheaper now, think about how easy that is going to be to sell off in the future. Who is going to be buying that? And that leads me to my third point, and that is the market. Who can purchase any of your items if you had to sell them? More than likely, you'd have to go to a dealer and they wouldn't give you a price you would like. For the simple fact is, they don't know how long they will have to hold it before it sells. Now, a high demand period like we are living right now, it's pretty easy to offload that gold and silver because there are a lot of interested buyers no matter the size. Getting back to my point, you would have an easier time selling 100 1 ounce coins over selling something like this in both a low and high demand period. I'm just setting some things aside. This 100 ounce bar, it cost a lot less than buying these 1 ounce rounds individually. If I were to buy 100 of these, let's say the price would have been $18.50. But buying this, it was $16.50. So you have to weigh a whole bunch of options instead of just picking whatever is the cheaper chicken. I will say though, stay away from fractional rounds. Silver fractional rounds, I should say. If it isn't constitutional silver, I wouldn't buy any type of silver fractional because you're overpaying for silver for one, and two, you're really not going to get that much back out of it if you had to go sell it. The same thing goes for gold. This is 100 grams of gold. I think you can purchase this off APMEX for around $6,000. That's a lot of money. Who do you know that can buy that from you? I mean, that comes down to 60 grams or $60 per gram. That's not bad for right now. I think spot price is around 56, 57 as of filming this. It's much easier to try to offload like this 1/4 ounce polar bear round. It's much easier to try to sell one of these than selling one of these. And the other good thing about buying smaller pieces, let's say that you bought this 100 ounce silver bar and you're like, okay, cool, I got 100 ounces of silver, but a bill comes up and you owe 600 bucks. Well, you don't want to sell this entire thing to pay off a $600 bill. If you only wanted to sell off 30 of these 1 ounce rounds, that would more than cover the cost of that $600 bill, and you would still have silver left over. If you had liquidated this, not only would you not get the price that you want, more than likely, you would also not have any silver left. You would have an excess of cash left or fiat currency, but if you had to liquidate your silver, you would kind of be screwed. This is also another point towards gold. This is a 51 gram pack of Valcambi Swiss gold. It has a serial number down here. This is sealed. If you had to sell off, this would be a really good purchase compared to one of these. Let's say you had a 50 gram bar here and then you had this 50 gram. If you needed to pay some bills, you can just sell a few of these at a time to pay those off and still have gold left over. Versus this, you can't break off a chunk of this to sell. And if you did, it would lower its value entirely. So buying fractional gold will be more expensive in the long run, but it might be more beneficial for you. If you know you're going to offload your gold or silver as soon as it hits a certain price target that you want, then by all means purchase whatever you want. But it would be really smart to purchase popular items, because what if gold and silver prices don't rise to what you want? What happens if they drop? And what if the demand for gold and silver is down? Then you're stuck with things that you might not necessarily want, and you are in a deficit if you had to get rid of them. What are liquid and gold silver pieces? Well, I kind of covered that. It's mostly any silver bar or round under 5 ounces. 1 ounce silver rounds or coins would be best. If anything, the most popular one right now would probably be the American Silver Eagle. This is 1 ounce, minted by the US, and extremely popular. Right now, these are commanding a $8 premium. Some places you can probably find cheaper, like your local coin shop, but for the most part, they are very, very high in terms of popularity, and you can easily sell them if you had to. What I had already mentioned before, grams of gold. Pamp gold. This is an assay, or sits in an assay. This is 2.5 grams of pamp gold. And you know that this is a real piece because you can scan the back here. It's got a serial number. There are fake pamp pieces out there, so that's why it's more important to be mindful of where you're purchasing from. If you were purchasing from Joe off Craigslist, have that metal tested before you buy it. Go to a coin shop, say, let's test this metal before you buy it. I've seen a lot of people burned because they picked up gold pieces that were in an assay, but they were fake. Chinese are making a lot of fakes out there. This piece I picked off of APMEX. I know that it's going to be real. So just be mindful of your sources. And going on to that point, I would say for gold, for it to be considered liquid in my mind, it would be anything under a 1/4 ounce. A 1/2 ounce of gold is right around $850, $900 right now, and it's really, it has a high premium. So, in trying to find a buyer that will pick up $1,000 in gold might not be the easiest, but if you were to try to sell this 1/4 ounce round or this 1/4 ounce coin for, let's say, $450 or $500, your buying field, the buyers in that field grew tremendously. And that kind of leads me to another point. If you're buying fractional gold, pick pieces that would be interested in, that most people would be interested in. If, let's say, you're buying a Perth Mint Victory in the Pacific because your grandfather fought in the Pacific, that's really cool. But just have the understanding that that is not going to always be an easy seller. It's not going to have a huge market of people that want to buy that back. I would even say same thing with these Canadian polar bears. Who knows if this will be a popular item for other people. I picked it up because it was below spot. I think actually it might have been right at spot a few months ago, or almost 6 months ago. So I got a really good deal off of these. But if you had to, let's say you bought them at the height of the market and then the price dropped and you weren't able to sell it, do you even like that piece that you have? So it's important to not only pick pieces that, like I said, are easily movable, but also pieces that you enjoy, because you want to enjoy your stack. You want to enjoy the silver and gold that you have. And the same goes for silver. Right here, I have an 1898-0. I just picked this one up. Graded Mint State 65, deep mirror proof-like. It is a gorgeous coin. And its value is around $1,100. I picked it up for less, and I don't even know if I could get what I paid for it back at this moment. I think I probably could, but you have to think about if you are a collector and you had to sell this, could you sell it? How many buyers are out there willing to pay what you paid? How many collectors are out there that want this item? So make sure it's an item that would be popular regardless of the market that we're in or anything else. Same with this piece. I picked it up because I really like it. This is a 100th anniversary Walking Liberty. This piece really spoke to me. I really enjoy this coin. I love this design by, I think it's Adolf A. Wiseman. And I love the Walking Liberty design. But I don't know how many other people enjoy this same design. And if there is a very select few who find this appealing to them, I might not be able to sell it for more than melt. Or I mean, at least in a down market. If we're in a high market like now, sure, you could probably get a good price for it. But just think about the things that you're picking up. Will they be popular even if the market goes down? Some other items. This is a 5-ounce silver bar. This is from Silvertown, I think. Yep. This is a generic silver, so it's going to sell for a low premium, and oftentimes it's purchased at a low premium. Right now, premium is about $4 over spot, so silver is in really high demand. Buying these is a good idea if you plan to offload them, but if you're buying a 5-ounce bar, I think right now you can get them for like $100, $105 shipped. If you had to sell this, who could buy it? Compared to, let's say, this Sunshine Mint round. If you had 5 singles of these, 5 silver rounds, I think it would be easier to sell these than it would to sell this giant piece. I mean, this isn't giant by any means, but you get my point. I have a 10-ounce bar there just to kind of show that 10 ounces is a bit much for silver, unless you have the budget and the resources where you don't actually have to liquidate. If you had enough cash reserves, if you had enough other things to liquidate, then by all means buy whatever you want. The reason why I have a lot of these bigger pieces is because I got a really good deal on them, and because I shopped around and I found that I couldn't walk away from that price, so that's why I grabbed them. If they were at a very high premium like right now, I don't know if I would buy them, just because it would be a little bit more difficult to get to sell compared to the American Silver Eagle. This I could sell all day long because there's such a high demand for it. This I could probably sell, but it would take a little bit more convincing and a cheaper price. Here I have National Rifle Association. I hate this, but I got it for a really good price. But this is one of those specialty pieces that not everyone would be interested in. So you have to consider, if you had to offload it, you might have to discount your price just so that it will move. I have a couple of popular silver items here. This is one of the new releases from the Tuvalu Mint, which is also the Perth Mint. This is the Royal Fortune series, Black Flag, Black Bart. So I think these started out at 23, and then they went up to 33, 35, somewhere around there before they sold out. And they sold out within 2 or 3 days. So this was very popular. It's a very nice coin, very good strike, and I think these are selling for $50 plus right now on eBay and Instagram, places like that. And I'm sure that the demand will increase slightly on these, so you might even be able to get more. This particular one, or this coin mintage, only has 15,000 minted, so it's a very low mintage coin and has high demand right now. So this is a very liquid piece. In a few months, that might change, and you would have to lower your price in order to accommodate that. Same thing with PAMP. PAMP silver is on fire right now, and it's selling for, I think, 100% premium. Those prices are ridiculous. I picked up this one for, I think, $80, but I could sell this right now on eBay for $180. the demand is just super, super high. Same thing with Geiger. Geiger pieces are in really high demand. They have low mintages, and for good reason. They have a serial number, they have anti-counterfeiting technology built into it, and it's a really premium piece. So these are selling for almost as much as the PAMP pieces. I would say maybe even more. In other countries, this might look different, and I don't know all the ins and outs of a lot of countries that have tariffs on certain things and taxes on others. So stack accordingly to the items that are popular in your country. Do what is best for you. This is just my opinion of what I have seen over the last 15 years. I think everyone should have, in some form, a liquid asset, because one never knows when one would need to liquidate. What is your favorite gold and silver to buy? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of my video? Do you think that I covered a pretty good aspect of what liquidate is in terms of precious metals? Thank you so much for watching Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.